Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel as we celebrate the Black Friday to Cyber Monday sale over at Nutcracker Collections. As you might already be aware, if you're following my Facebook group Paper Crafting with Paul or you're in Nitwit Neighbourhood on Facebook, I am doing a little revisit series where I'm revisiting some of my previous card tutorials and going over them again using some of the Christmas kits available from the shop. As it's the Black Friday to Cyber Monday sale, so for the 4 days you can get your hands on these kits at special discounts. So I'll have a link below to the shop for you to have a look around, and also I'll have a link to the previous version of this card if you want to see it in one of the other Nitwit kits. It's called my Stand Up Fold Flat pop-up card. It does exactly what it's called. It stands up, but then folds flat to go into the envelope. So as long as you're not putting too much dimension on, it's a great one for Christmas because the postage will be minimal because there's no dimension. But of course you can then, I have added foam pads and made it a bit more proud in this version. There we go, stands up just to prove. For this time, I've used the Nutcracker kit. Again, it'll be linked in the description below. So I've printed off some lovely traditional images. Is my camera a bit blurry today? But it has printed absolutely stunning on my paper. So if you haven't seen this card style before, don't panic. I'm going to show you exactly how to make it. So grab a sheet of cardboard, have a think about what kit you want, and enjoy the tutorial. So to begin this card, I'm going to be using one piece of A4 cardstock. I'm going to start by cutting it with a short edge on the top at 5 inches. And I'm going to keep that the length of my A4, which, if you're using any other card, is just over 11.5. And then with the piece left over, this should already now measure 3.25. So I'm going to then cut this at 6.5. Then you've got this little piece then, if you've got like sentiment or a top that you want to add some extra strength to, you can do it with that. So now I'm going to grab my scoreboard. I'm going to start with my largest piece. So I'm going to put it the long way at the top of my scoreboard. And it's a 5x7 card, so it's already cut at 5, so I'm going to score it at 7. So that is like my base. Then I'm going to score at 8, then 10.25, and 11.25. And I got this little extra flap then at the end, which I'm going to be using to glue it all together. Oh, but before then I take it out, I'm going to do a mark at 4.75. So 1, 2, 3/4. I'm just going to mark it. I'm going to flip it over so I get a mark on the other side again. 4.75. So let me just come back here so the mark is clear. There we go. Now, I don't need to score it all the way across. That's just a guide for later on. Then my smaller piece, I'm going to place in the top. I'm going to score at 5 and 6. And that's all I need to do for that one. So both of these now, I've got my short thin bits here. I'm going to add some tape to those smaller channels. And from the score lines, what I'm going to do is line my scissors on the score and just cut a little V shape out. So I'm just going to miter a little bit. This just means I'll see less of my black cardstock against my patterned paper later on. And it also reduces the bulk around the edges. So I've cut it on the main card as well. So I'm just going to grab my Teflon tool, because my Teflon tool won't mark black cardstock. So I've folded it, the first one back, so the tape is now up. And I'm just going to carry on folding back and burnishing. Fold the next line and burnish. And I should have one more, yes, one more. Here we go. So I've made it into that sort of shape. And with this one, we'll do the same. Fold it back, burnish, fold it back and burnish. So this is my topper piece, and this is my base card. So now with my base card, I need to be a bit careful because I will only get one chance with the tape. So I'm just going to expose a little bit of tape. So all I've done is peeled it back and flipped it up. Now all this is not sticky yet, only that bit has got the adhesive. So I'm just going to fold it back. I'm going to look for those two score lines I found. So they're there. So what I'm going to do, I've got that 1 inch there and 1 inch there. If I fold that 1 inch down, when I fold that on, it should be on that score line for me. And it is. So I've pressed down now. This still hasn't been stuck down until I'm perfectly sure it's in the right place, and it is. So I'm going to fold it back. Now that that is complete, I've already gone to my Nutcracker kit, and in my original I just used plain paper. So if you watch the video in the description below, you'll just see me just use papers trimmed and put, but this time I've actually done some matte and layers on my computer ready. So we've got a red layer and a patterned paper. Now this first piece is going to go there, and it has already been cut and inked with black to 4.5 tall by 4 3/4 wide, and it is that way up because the candy canes will be the wrong way round. So let's just add some glue. So I use glue just in case it drops in the wrong place, I can move it. Double-sided tape, it's just one go. So I'm just leaving it with the black border. I can bring my Teflon tool again and I've got a bit too much glue there, but my dry is clear, so I'm not too worried. And I've also got this piece, which is 3/4 inch. So that will fit on the top. This one is actually an optional piece, but it does finish it off nicely. There we go. And I've also got a piece to go on the front. So you can see I've used the same pattern paper on each one. So this one is 2 inches tall. Again, 4 3/4 wide. And I've placed that there. So you need to do this before you put your topper on. Okay, so you've decorated the base card. Now, if you're thinking where to write a sentiment, you can put a 6 3/4 by 4 3/4 piece of white card on the back, or go through the kit and find a journal card, and you can stick that then onto the back. So now I've got my topper piece, and these now, because it's 3 1/4 wide, my topper pieces are 3 inches wide, and my main one is 4 3/4 tall, so he's going to go there. And again, I've got a 3/4 inch piece here, which will go on the top, just to finish it off nicely. Now, all the elements printed off here fitted on one A4 sheet to me, including the decoupage pieces for later on. So we're going to glue this on. And just line it up in the middle. There we go. I'm going to flip it over. I'm just going to add some tape to the bottom of my topper piece. So that'll stick onto my base here. Now, if we have a look at my main topper piece, what I've done is taken my Nutcracker and I've copy and pasted him 3 times. So they're all exactly the same size. I just copy, paste, and just layered them in this nice little triangle, and then added some poinsettias in the corners. These I kept on in front, and these 3 I sent to the back. So that means it goes behind the image. And again, I've got the white solid piece from the solids pack, and the red from the solids as well. So all the colours will tie together. Now, because I did copy and paste, I managed to copy and paste one extra one. And I'm actually going to do some decoupaging with him. So we're going to raise him up. So let's get some foam tape. Oh, that was pretty good sizing. And let's get some on his arms. There we go. And because I use copy and paste, as I said, it's going to be exactly the same size. So I'm going to be able to place him onto the middle Nutcracker. If your cutting isn't perfect, it doesn't matter because it's the same image beneath, so it'll hide a few sins as well. The only thing we need to make sure now is that we don't go too close to the top, because when you fold it up, you don't want this going all the way beyond the top. Otherwise, it's not going to fit in your 5x7 envelope. So as I fold it, I need to make sure it doesn't go beyond the top. So I think you can put it in the center, off to the left, whatever you want, just as long as it's not going over the top. So I'm going to take off the bottom and add some glue as well, just for extra security. I'm going to line up with the top just because then I'll know it's straight. And that's where I want it. So now I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take off the tape there. I'm going to tuck it behind. So now when I lift it, it's going to be in exactly the right position I want. So I had it all the way up. So make sure my card base is 7 inches. Lined up my topper on the top to get it nice and straight. Then I peeled the bottom back and down. Lifted that to expose the tape and then pushed it down. So there's no measuring anything involved. Just some clever trickery. And then I've also got a nice little sentiment, which I'm just going to glue right there. So I could take it down or over. I could even have put it there, couldn't I? Let's put him down here. So there we have my stand-up but folds flat pop-up card. So I hope you enjoyed this little revisit, and having a look at it using one of the nice fun Christmas kits. I do like the Nutcracker, nice and traditional, and the colours are also quite traditional as well, with the reds and the greens, but I do need to get the gold one. I haven't used it yet, I haven't got that kit, but there is a gold version of this as well. So if you're into your creamer cards, that would be brilliant. So if you like this and you like this kit, have a look in the description below. You'll find a link to the shop, and also you'll find a link to my Facebook group called Paper Crafting with Paul, so that you can share your versions of this card with me, which I'd love to see. And as always, if you've enjoyed, please give it a thumbs up and a comment below. It really does help with my channel. So thanks for watching, and make the most of that Black Friday to Cyber Monday sale over at Knitwear Collections. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again soon.